Everything feels like it's spiraling. Homelessness, crime, addiction, mental illness. Everywhere we look, it's getting worse. Politicians point fingers at the system. Activists blame inequality. But almost no one dares to ask the uncomfortable question: what if the collapse began in the place we least want to examine? Our homes. Trace any societal crisis back far enough, and one root keeps appearing: fatherlessness. Today, 1 in 4 American children, 18 million, grow up without a father. In 1950, that number was under 10%. This isn't coincidence. This is an epidemic. How did we get here? After the 1960s, well-intended welfare programs slowly reshaped the family structure. Systems built to support single mothers ended up rewarding the absence of men in the home. At the same time, divorce laws loosened, and divorces skyrocketed. By the 1980s, the family unit had changed forever. Courts overwhelmingly granted custody to mothers, and the culture created a new narrative. The single mom is the hero. The father is disposable. In just 2 generations, the role of the father went from essential to optional. And we're living with the consequences. We all understand the importance of a mother. But what happens when a child loses their father's presence? For boys, a father is the first model of masculinity, not through words, but through example. How to face challenges, how to regulate emotion, how to become a man. Without that model, boys struggle with resilience, impulse control, emotional regulation, and identity. They search for male validation through gangs, through violence, through isolation, through rebellion. The data speaks loudly. Boys without fathers are twice as likely to drop out of school. They have dramatically higher addiction rates. Over 70% of youth in state correctional institutions grew up fatherless. A father teaches discipline, structure, and character. Without that foundation, many boys become lost men. Men who self-destruct or harm others because no one ever taught them how to build themselves. For girls, fatherlessness creates a different wound. A father is her first example of how a man should love, protect, and respect her. When that's missing, many girls learn to confuse attention for affection. They chase validation instead of value. They end up in relationships where they seek a father figure instead of a partner. Girls from fatherless homes face higher teen pregnancy, low self-esteem, higher chances of being in abusive relationships, greater vulnerability to predators. A father's protection isn't optional. It's life-altering. And for the mother? When a father leaves, she must become provider, nurturer, and disciplinarian all at once. The stress is crushing. Single mothers are 5 times more likely to live in poverty. Our culture praises their strength, but ignores their pain. Strong families create strong communities. When the family breaks down, the invisible threads that hold society together begin to snap. Neighbors stop helping. People retreat into survival mode. And what happens next? The government steps in to replace what the family once provided. In the 1960s, few Americans relied on federal assistance. Today, over 1/3 of U.S. households receive some form of aid. Welfare spending exceeds $1.2 trillion a year. What was meant to be temporary help has become permanent dependence. Because the structure that once taught responsibility, the family, has collapsed. The Founding Fathers knew this truth. Freedom requires virtue. Virtue starts at home. A nation cannot be stronger than its families. The cycle of fatherlessness continues because boys who grow up without fathers never learn how to become one. And in today's culture, men are told, "You're optional, you're toxic, you're replaceable." But walk down any street lined with tent cities, addiction, and despair, and ask yourself, does it look like men are optional? Behind every broken man is a boy who never had someone to show him who he could become. Men, your presence matters, your leadership matters, your love matters, your children, your community, and your nation need you. Being a father isn't about perfection, it's about presence. A mother's love is unconditional, but a father's decision to stay, that becomes a child's core belief. I am worth staying for. If no one ever taught you how to be a father, then you are the generation that gets to break the pattern. Become the man your son can respect. Become the father your daughter can trust. Choose to be the foundation your family stands on. Because when fathers rise, families heal, communities strengthen, and nations rebuild.